we're going to start our React segment for this evening, for this Tuesday. This is a first video ever for B-Man, who's here literally all the time. This is, I believe, their first video of this variety. So now more than ever, make sure you hit that link that just showed up in the Twitch chat above my head. And if you are on YouTube, if it hits the YouTube, it'll be down in the description below. So yeah, this video is talking about the change that toolboxes desperately need. And if you guys know me, you know, I think that toolboxes are just kind of like a silly concept. I think they're kind of like, medkits make sense to me, because medkits, while they help you in a roundabout way do the objective by keeping people healed and ergo making chases longer, having an item that just kind of just progresses the main objective just cause, kind of weird. Like, imagine if there was like a killer offering that you could bring that just like put you on first hook already for one person on the team. Nobody would be cool with that, right? Like, everybody would be like, hey, I didn't even get to chase. everybody would freak out. Everybody would think it'd be a terrible offering design. But like, that's what toolboxes are. They're just like, hey, objective is just now more done. Why? Because I brought something. Get bent. It's like, oh, okay. I think generally they're just like, from the beginning, they've never been a good item just ever. So yeah, let's see what B-Man has to say about it.
I'm Bmanmike, and thanks for joining me in the fog for my first ever commentary video.
Right.
Today we'll be talking about the recent changes to some perks, as well as what I think behavior should do to toolboxes. So let's just hop right into it. With the release of the D&D chapter, behavior nerfed many gen slowdown perks in the game, including Pop, Pain Res, and even Grim Embrace for some reason.
I feel like it was a very puzzling choice to nerf gen slowdown, but not adjust the other side of the coin, which is the gen speed situation, because they're both sides of the same coin, like heads and tails. Like, they're both sides of the same coin. They walk hand in hand. So adjust one and not the other is kind of just like asking for trouble.
We really didn't need to touch that though. The problem with this is that they didn't compensate by nerfing any of the gen rush options on the survivor side.
Hey.
No, instead they leave annoying perks the way they are, such as hyper focus. I mean,
and I will say this for context for B-Man. B-Man is mostly a survivor player, so it's not coming from a burst of killer
buys. How do you leave
buys.
this untouched when it can cause gens to finish in 35 seconds?
Which is crazy, yeah.
And sometimes less. They even buff one of the perks, as now weaving spiders only takes half the time it used to, now being 60 seconds with just one survivor.
Mm-hmm.
While this isn't that big of a deal, and I am glad they buffed it as it'll cause a bit of variety in my matches, it certainly won't help anyone against gen rushing. The problem with them addressing gen slowdown but not gen rushing is that now the survivors will just be able to breeze through the match as there is not enough gen slowdown to prevent it. This got me thinking about toolboxes and how behavior should have handled them. Now, answer me this. Why is it we see keys get completely reworked, flashlights get the insta-blinds removed, and get a buffer, which, let's be honest, they should just get rid of anyway.
Yeah, the buffer is ridiculous.
And even medkits get majorly adjusted.
And that's like what B-Man does, by the way. The B-Man is like the beamer saver gamer. So like the fact that even B-Man's like, yeah, the buffer's stupid. That's something.
Which I personally wasn't a fan of. Not
that's like what they do.
What they previously did, but what they now do seems too stale. As it's
just
the rarities is boring and gets just stale over time. But that's a topic for another day. I just don't see how these items can get so many changes, and yet toolboxes only get a small.
That's what I'm about to be like Slade. Honestly, that's just my takeaway. As I just need to just
shadow buff
on a beefy build and call it a day.
Can't be removed.
That's
so how do we fix this problem as an item that simply speeds up the objective?
Yeah, I used to be a flashbang gamer and I stopped for some reason. It just didn't feel as good.
Well, here's my proposal. First off, a small but necessary change that should be made to toolboxes is a rarity rework, as there's no reason the green Commodious should be better than the purple Engineer's toolbox.
It is kind of weird.
That said, we should instead adjust toolboxes to be based around sabotaging instead of repairing. While, yes, it can be annoying to have someone sabotage right in front of you, it's not as infuriating as having gens fly just because the survivors brought it.
I feel like a good compromise, potentially, at least as a halfway work, because obviously, in my perfect world, toolboxes just shouldn't do gens at all, right? Which is kind of what B-Man's suggesting. I think a good halfway, like a compromise between the two ideas, would be instead of toolboxes just, speeding up the gen, that it was purely skill check focused, because toolboxes already increase skill check chances. Why not just lean more into that and have the gen aspect be solely tied to the skill checks? Because that's what a lot of people already do anyways. They're like hyper-focus, stakeout, blah, blah, blah. You know, like they're already focused on the skill checks while doing gens a lot anyways. So just like remove the speed and just like focus on the skill checks. You know, maybe that's a good compromise between the two. I don't know.
In an item before the game even started. But that's not all, as there are many other things we could have toolboxes do in the game instead of repairing, such as, for instance, making them a form of built to last, where you can use toolboxes to fix items over a small interact time of, say, 5 seconds to repair
That's
a
cool.
flashlight,
I like
key,
that idea.
medkit, or
That's
map,
unique.
transferring 5 chargers over to them while keeping the ability to sabotage hooks with toolboxes. That way, players still can use the toolboxes for something. You could even give them the ability to upgrade an item found in the trial, such as fixing the broken key and turning it into a dull key, or making
That's
your
good.
yellow
Yeah, I like that.
flashlight into a green one. Now, I'm not going to go on and on for add-ons, but I do have one in mind for a replacement of the BMP. With this add-on, you could fix a single pallet through an animation of, let's say, 10 to 20 seconds, causing the toolbox to instantly consume on
You
use.
got to be careful
There's
about
just-
that because like maybe we can like merge these ideas because we do have the party pallets that are currently in the masquerade event. So maybe we could have you construct like party pallets for like part of the toolbox use, because if it's just rebuild a toolbox, even if it's for 10 or 20 seconds, like having a god pallet in a very crucial area could turn the entire tide of a game if a bad chase takes place there. So that is potentially dangerous. So maybe have it be more like toolboxes could create like scrap pallets. We could call them scrap pallets, TM, and those are essentially just the party pallets and functionality. They're just in the game normally. So
so much behavior could do, and it's sad to see them just resort to the speeding up the gens option.
yeah, I liked a lot of these ideas, and I think that like while I'm with you in the sense that like I just wish we could just absolutely just like nuke nuke toolboxes from orbit. Nuke toolboxes from orbit. Like I feel like obviously that would agitate a portion of the player base. So I think a merging of these ideas, like a compromise of, you know, not rebuilding a pallet, but building scrap pallets or stuff like that. Protect a gen from the next regression event. That'd be interesting. That'd be very, very interesting. Yeah, there's a lot you can do with that. There's a lot of fun things you can do that aren't just I speed up the gen. So yeah, overall, really, really good ideas, and it was really cool to see your first video.